Chris?
Sure, I'll take it on PDR.
Way down in the bottom.
The bull rider, please.
Do you think that Pabst Blue Ribbon is the official beer? Is it the official beer of professional bull riding?
I don't think it is.
Sort of seems like a missed opportunity, don't you think? I think
sure
so.
Both organizations would just assume the other one didn't use its initials.
Well, yeah.
But here we are.
Here we are. I put it over there. You walked right past it. Well, you'll find it. You're smart.
Not that smart.
You're smart. You'll figure it out. Okay. You know what I can't figure out is why my computer still says 4:52 and my watch says 4:57 and my phone says 4:58. I imagine now my watch says 4:58. I'm not sure how. I mean, I don't care. I just don't know. You know what I mean?
You'd think in the world of technology,
Mm-hmm.
that would be the one thing we could get right.
Well, we've talked about this before. The idea that, it's not an hour off. It's just a few minutes off. Which is weird.
Yeah. But it used to be you could call a number. The official time is 4:58. Well, where did they get that time? And can't all computers be set to that time?
I would think, yeah.
On their own?
This computer probably has so much dust and crud in it that well, that's all I can think.
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
Mine over near the CNC still works.
Well,
I have no idea what time it says.
But it still works. It's just that's all I know.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. All right. Well, everybody's here. A lot of people are here. It's pretty close to time to go. Greg is here. Gary's here. Michael, Eric, Dylan, Brian, Sean, Dan, Paul, Terry, Tazzy Tim for the win. Good day to you, Tazzy Tim. Yeah. You think Gary will have the lighting, you can't tell that I have this soul patch here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Gary will have one when he comes out in August? Hint, hint, Gary.
Gary Redburn?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, probably not, but he might.
He might surprise us. He might have a big old Santa Claus beard.
For all we know, yeah. Thank you for the
been
super
working
chat,
all
Brian.
year.
Ad free. You know what to do. God bless you, Brian. All right, gang. Well, let's just go ahead and get down to it because it is 4:50, 5 o'clock. Okay, there we go.
Hey.
So I hope that everyone's having a good day. Thank you to everyone who watched my video on Sunday. It was fairly well received, and I got a lot of really nice people said a lot of really nice things. So thank you to everybody who watched, and thank you to everybody who sent me something nice. So another super chat from Gary. Oh, this is probably, I have to put my glasses on, but he's probably going to tell me he's got like a mega super soul patch. He says, no, but I have grown my mustache back. Well, Gary, I think you have a better mustache than I do.
When did he not have a mustache? Or maybe he just grew more mustache?
Maybe more mustache.
I can't think of any time I've ever seen Gary without a mustache.
Yeah. So it's going to be.
I look forward to seeing new mustache.
Chris, maybe you should do a mustache before Gary gets here.
Maybe I should, but I won't.
Well, all right. I mean, I think that, Brian says more stash. And Tazzy Tim says, nah, Matt, that's a tickler in us. So Matt, maybe I don't have enough mustache for Australia either. I don't know, but this is the best mustache I can grow. So anyway,
didn't somebody recently tell you to trim it?
No, sometimes I trim
No,
like
on a video.
Oh, maybe, but you know what? If there's a dude telling another dude what they should do with their facial hair, so it sounds a little okay, but
Unsolicited.
yeah,
Now, if you went and you asked, say, Gary,
yeah,
hey Gary, what should I do with my mustache?
yeah, that's then it's
Perfectly legit.
Yeah, but if it's
Yeah.
some
From one mustache guy to
Yeah.
another mustache guy,
so,
what should he do?
but
with
just
his
some
mustache?
dude,
Yeah,
telling me what I
some
should or
rando
shouldn't
on
do.
the internet.
We used to get a lot of people who would like tell us to drink different beer and grow facial hair and wear a different hat or
Not
tell me.
grow facial
I'm like,
hair.
why is a man telling another man what they should do based on aesthetic? It doesn't matter. Okay. Anyway. So, you know what we're going to talk about today, Chris? Okay. You haven't looked at the thing. You don't even know. Okay.
I haven't seen the picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about, hollow body and semi-hollow body guitars.
Okay.
But first, we're going to talk about why you're playing a solid body guitar in the first place.
Okay.
So, and when I say you, I mean you and you and me and yeah. Why are we even playing solid?
We all.
Well, I mean the guitar started out as an acoustic instrument,
correct,
back in the olden days,
Stone Age.
And
I saw them playing on the Flintstones.
there you go. They had solid body. They had guitars made out of rocks then. But yeah,
Everything was a rock.
but not in cartoons. The actual guitar started life as an acoustic instrument, and in the last 75 years, it became so commonplace that the electric guitar or that the guitar be solid body that it is almost a universally known thing that guitars are solid chunks of wood. Why is that? And don't say because Leo Fender said so, because that's a dumb argument for anything. I don't care what it is. I mean, Leo Fender was great, but if all you do is parrot stuff, dumb stuff like Leo Fender said so, okay, fine. But you just sound stupid if you say that. So, all right. So there are a lot of people though making solid body guitars, and the short answer is what, Chris?
The short answer for why to make a solid body guitar.
Yeah, I mean, we all know, and it's not because Leo Fender said so.
So it doesn't feed back.
Yeah. So
or it feeds back less.
It's a way to get more volume in an amplified instrument with less of those the sonic, like you said, feedback that 75 years ago was not something that people were looking for.
Yeah.
It also gives you the ability to make the guitar any shape you want. But gosh, most guitars now are pretty standard. There's nobody making no one's going crazy anymore and making all kinds of cuckoo stuff. They're just basically making a familiar version of something that's existed for many years, ourselves included. So like the Challenger is a kind of a straight up single cutaway guitar that is while excellent and while tremendously awesome, is fairly pedestrianly shaped in the world of what you could make a guitar look like. Doesn't have a bunch of points, or it doesn't have a thing sticking out of it or something. But yeah, so with that, Chris, why aren't more guitars hollow or at least semi-hollow now that we know how to do it? You know what I mean? The guitar building population knows how to make something that is hollow, semi-hollow, and fairly traditional looking. What's the big deal? How come solid guitars are still such a cool thing? I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you think, and I'm going to tell you what I think. So let's go to the while you're
to the big board
while you're mulling it over, because I'm going to come back to you. We're going to go to the comment section and see what everybody says. Lefty says something stupid because Leo Fender. Okay, yeah. And he goes on to say something halfway smart, which is found that it was faster and cheaper to make. But
I don't
Leo
think
Fender
cheaper had anything to do with it.
Well, let's we can come back to that because that's true too. You know what? Let's not come back to it. Let's talk about it right now.
Okay.
Ready, go.
I don't believe that. I think I know for a fact that Don Randall, who ran Fender sales
Mhm.
from the beginning, was keenly aware that he was in control of the price of that guitar, and they priced their guitar as high as they could possibly price it. He famously said the job of the retailer is to figure out the highest price that product can sell for,
regardless of the product.
They
frankly,
were unwilling to. They were not looking to undercut anybody as far as price.
It's funny
Their guitar was $10 less than the Gibson, and it was way less guitar.
So you think about it, in 2025, Fender has lots of guitars that are a couple of $100 that fall under the Fender umbrella.
Yeah.
But they also have lots of guitars that are $8-10 grand.
Yeah.
So
I will agree that if a solid body guitar is cheaper to manufacture, I don't think Fender
easier to
was
manufacture.
making easier. I don't think that was the reason to do it. I think they priced that guitar as high as they could price it, and they priced it as high as some hollow body electric guitars at the time. Things that were much more difficult to build.
I'm kind of tired of hearing Fenders were supposed to be inexpensive.
For the working man.
No, they weren't.
No, they were for the working man who was a musician, and his amp fell off the bus every other week, and it still worked.
Okay.
That's the working man part of it.
I see.
The stuff was tough. Headstocks didn't break off.
But it wasn't
Cabinets
inexpensive
didn't break apart.
compared
No,
to
it
other
was
things that were
really
available.
expensive.
And Leo
the
Fender
time.
was not the first guy to ever make a commercially viable solid body guitar. I mean, I think probably the most famous, but guys like Paul Bigsby. I mean, Leo Fender was robbing from Paul Bigsby and Les Paul.
Bigsby made 58 solid body guitars
Mhm.
in total.
What's that?
He made 58 solid body guitars in total.
Okay, that's all.
That's it.
All right. Searching for Tone sent us a super chat, and thank you for that. Searching for Tone. There's a guitar missing from the wall.
38.
I heard. Stop. I'm reading. There's a guitar missing from the wall. I heard someone stole it from you. Here's to the reward if found. It's yellow and has a hole in it. It can't be too hard to find. Now you know why he says that, right?
Because he bought it.
He bought it. So I hope that you got that one, my friend. And
When did it go out?
I think he said he was going to get it today.
Okay.
So yeah, is Zoltan here? There he is. Yeah. Zoltan says, now this is a good one. He says, when I was born in 1980, do you know Zoltan was that much younger, 10 years younger than us?
Yeah, I guess. When people come to, I think everybody's the same age, unless they're obviously older.
They're obviously older,
younger.
like Brian Duncan.
I think everybody.
Yeah.
I think Brian's the same age. So yeah, if quizzed, I would say yes, Zoltan is younger than us. I wouldn't have known how much younger.
Oh, okay.
I probably would have said 8 years.
All right. He says that when he was growing up, all the cool guys played solid body. Okay.
Yeah.
If you throw out the I think it's cool card, but okay. Hey, Zoltan, speaking of cool, we have a really cool black.
Yeah, I did an intergalactic SG.
No, you didn't. There you go. Intergalactic prostitute.
Yeah.
Brad Guitar Miller sent a super chat and said, hey guys, I kind of like the best of both worlds with the semi-hollow. Now we're getting somewhere. Searching for Tone says that it's at the mailbox store, picking it up tomorrow. Okay, cool. Tazzy Tim says semi-hollow guitars are lighter and easier to swing. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. So I think, and I don't know who was the first company to do a semi-hollow body guitar. But I think I know some company that made them really, really popular with a big block down the middle, to cut back on a lot of that stuff.
Are you like concealing
I don't
holding your cards close to your vest? So for some actual, okay.
No, I think the ES335 was, one of the first really, really popular semi-solid, semi-hollow bodies. Well, what's the difference between a semi-hollow body and a semi-solid body?
Well, I think that just depends on who's writing the spec sheet. Brian Duncan says, I resemble that remark. Thank you, Brian. Dylan sent us a super chat and he said, a box left today, another leaves tomorrow, and more next week for TTG and the folks coming out for classes. Be
Cool.
excited. Very cool. Thank you. Brad Guitar Miller, we got a box from you too, my friend. And we want to talk about that as well.
A bunch of beep buttons.
We did?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So why are we all playing solid body guitars now, do you think, Chris?
Tradition.
Yeah, I think, or another way to say that, still another way to say that is the dumbest reason to say anything, the second dumbest reason to say anything. Because that's the way we've always done it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Sure. The dumbest thing is because insert name of person says that, who's been dead for 20 years, that he said we had to do it this way, so we're doing it that way, whoever that is.
So do you think, I'm a big fan of knee-jerk reactions and overcorrections to solve a problem. Do you think the solid body guitar was an overcorrection for the feedbacky acoustic guitar or jazz guitar? I could make the argument that it was.
Well, go ahead.
You don't. So you have an acoustic guitar that feeds back. So instead of you overcorrect and you build a body out of solid wood, when really time has proven that we don't necessarily need to do that to make a guitar that doesn't do all the bad stuff that those jazzy acoustic, bent side guitars did.
Yeah. I think that it's a known quantity now, and to put your 2025 experiences back in a 1952 environment, you kind of go, here's what we know how to make.
Well, yeah, times had.
Yeah. So we know how to make acoustic guitars. We know how to bend sides. What can we do? At the time there wasn't there. As well as anybody, the machinery that they had access to then is the same machinery that we have in the other shop. And making a semi-hollow anything is not exactly super easy or cost effective or efficient with a pin router or with a copy carver or something like that. Yeah. So maybe that was what it is. So maybe it was, while it was an overcorrection, maybe it was wholly unnecessary.
Yeah.
Well, but they did what they could do.
I think the pedal steel and the lap steel had a lot to do with the original solid body guitars.
Okay.
And Bigsby and Fender they both made that stuff before they made electric Spanish guitars, something with a round neck that you could play like this. And so they knew that construction worked. Those guitars don't feed back. So that was probably a big reason for, let's just make an electric Spanish guitar with the same construction that we make, the lap steels and the pedal steels that we make out of big solid chunks of wood.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think you're onto something there.
Yeah,
and it's an easy way to go.
And,
Kay Sharp says Rickenbacker had semi-hollows before Gibson. Joy says she's slinging beers at Odyssey Beer Works in the park tonight for they're doing an Arvada thing.
Fest.
Zoltan says, I also guess that pre-CNC solid bodies were easier and quicker to machine than routing semi-hollow bodies or building hollow bodies. Yeah. But you're absolutely right, Zoltan. Our icon is, I think, a really perfect melding of what probably should have been done. Like, I'm not suggesting that we're so smart, we're smarter than everybody else or anything like that. But if you stop and design the guitar to be hollow and not feed back, you can make something that is efficient to build, really excellent, and doesn't feed back and gives you that comfortable kind of player experience. If you are so tied to tradition that it has to look like something else and it has to use the exact same build ethos as something else, then you're not really designing anything. You're just shoehorning some wood into the middle of something. You're kludging something together. And I love the 335, and I like it more than the 360 Rickenbacker. I don't really like Rickenbacker anything.
They're really,
I know a lot of
really
people
cool
do.
looking. They have a very distinct look.
I think the basses do.
I think that some of the guitars are pretty neat looking
Mhm.
too. And you know, the 12-string Rick changed the world there for a while, and then changed it again later on with sound.
What
But
how did it change the world?
everybody
that might be a stretch.
Yeah, well, you know, but everybody wanted to sound like the Byrds and the Beatles.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, that jangly thing. And then that whole jangly thing came back in the 80s. And everybody wanted to sound like Tom Petty.
And the Smithereens.
And the Smithereens and the Romantics.
Did you make the argument that Rickenbacker is responsible for the rise of communism in Eastern Europe?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm throwing stuff out there. Well, so Rickenbacker is, but that's just a personal thing for me. I think Rickenbackers are cool. I just don't want one.
Yeah, no, I've never wanted one.
Yeah. But if you design the guitar as a guitar, and if you start with a more or less a clean slate, okay, remember when we were designing the Icon? And originally it was supposed to be like, well, we take a big block of wood and cut a bunch of stuff out of it and glue a top onto it and boom, done. And it did not work.
No.
And there's a lot of reasons why it didn't work. And you can find out some of those reasons in August. If you can.
You can.
I
mean, it was a good segue.
Well, that's the whole point of this, is to sell the last 2 workshops in August. If you want to come out and build a semi-hollow body guitar with us, there's one spot August 4th, the week of August 4th, and one spot the week of August 18th. And they are, we're going to make some neat guitars.
They're going to be really cool. And
so when it comes to design, though, it was a very simple solution that we came up with. Why it is perplexed, everybody is perplexed by it, including Fender. Their Acoustasonic is like, why are you building it like this? This is the dumbest way to build this guitar. If I were in charge of the Fender Acoustasonic, I'd have probably made the same error. Great big CNC machine, start hogging stuff out. And if I went there right now and told them, I bet you they'd be like, oh, yeah, let's do that. I bet you they would.
Possibly.
Given that I know what happens before they glue the tops on and what they have to do.
And somebody else told you that they have that problem. Those Acoustasonics are an absolute product of CNC and somebody's capabilities. Programming and making a CNC do a couple tricky moves.
When the guy who worked at Fender told me what we were going to have to do to make our Icon work, I just stood there looking at him like, we don't make them like that. So
okay, we'll watch for that. Already went through that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's the nice thing, is that we went through it one time and said, this is dumb. Let's never do it again like this.
Well, and you know, if you're making, you know, if you're making 1 3/4 inch thick guitars, then you know you can do it that way. If you're making 2 inch thick guitars, or you know, it's a little harder to do it that way.
I got to tell you, I really like that LR Bags solid top, solid back, plywood, semi-hollow guitar.
Oh yeah,
I really like it a lot. I don't think it's going to go over because it looks like plywood.
Oh yeah,
but I think it is really, really. It's an engineering feat, though. Butch Landry writes, if chambered and carved top both save weight, what is the reason to pick one over the other? Tone, style, coolness. Well, Butch, I don't know that a carved top saves weight. at all.
No.
Okay, wait. I don't think
I
that
think an arch
every
top
yeah,
would save
yeah,
weight.
okay,
Carb
that's
top
what
won't.
yeah. So and an arch top is a tricky thing to do out of solid wood.
Mhm. That's an exercise in woodworking.
So what generally happens is they make those out of plywood, but then it's an arch top, not a carved top.
Right.
So-
And that's an exercise in
Mhm.
veneers, glue, and giant presses
Yeah.
and heat.
And an actual solid top arch top is you will very very rarely find those from a
Yeah.
company with a name like Gibson or Fender or
Uh-huh.
Paul Reed Smith. Well, maybe Paul Reed Smith. It can be done with a CNC machine.
Mhm.
It could be done fairly easily with a CNC machine, but when you
It's still
take
a lot of machine time.
it's a lot of machine time, and when you take a block of wood that is 20 inches by 13 inches by, let's say, 3/4 of an inch, and then you change the topography of it such that it is an arch top, and then you cut the other side of it away, it is very likely to move around on you.
Mhm.
So there's really not a lot of structural reason to do it out of a solid top like maple. So what you would want to use is like spruce or something like that, and then at that point you have an arch top, solid top arch top acoustic guitar, and you go sticking the pickup in it, and then you got like this weird thing that doesn't really do anything except look cool, which is cool. But Butch, in answer to your question, what's the reason to pick one over the other? Chambered carb top. Gosh, I think that the carb top is done because people demand that it's a carb top. It doesn't have anything to do with saving weight. Chambering is done to save weight, and people demand it because it saves weight.
Mhm.
Except for people who don't like carb tops. Les Paul guys, some of them hate a Les Paul that is weight relieved.
Weight relieved. Even, I've seen pictures of the way that they do it, and it's some holes drilled in the body.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes, I mean, they also chamber them for real, but even the ones, that are, you try and, I think the goal for a lot of manufacturers is to make everything the same,
Yeah.
including the weight.
Mhm.
And so, you start seeing, this and that, but yeah, they don't even like the few holes drilled in them. Like they want it to be as solid as possible.
Yep.
Which is fun.
Dan says we have to make a green icon. Dan, we will absolutely build you a green icon if you're willing to buy it. Dylan says he wants to fill up tone holes with Brian's farts.
It seems like a whole separate chat going
It's
on
a false economy, because I don't know how you save those and get them in there while the glue sets up. I mean, you'd have to, I don't know how
drill
you
a
would
hole
do
and
it.
pump it in
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. Stringwood Guitar says, I don't like Rickenbackers, but who cares what I think of them? They make more money at making instruments than I do, so they're doing something right. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it's sort of like the Hoot character in Black Hawk Down. What do I think? Doesn't matter what I think. Let's see. What about classical gas? Okay, there's a blah 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 blah. Greg says that L series Gibsons are solid carved tops. Are they solid carved tops with, are they arch top, Greg? I don't really know. Dylan sent us a super chat and says, what percentage of processes do you think are engineering decisions versus I want to try this crazy thing and it ends up cool? I don't know if I'll be able to actually put a percentage number on that, but so to paraphrase that, how many guitars do you think are actually designed and how many are happy accidents? I can tell you that the Icon was absolutely a designed happy accident. We knew one way that we could do it, and it wasn't going to work. And
and we would have been fine if it had worked.
Uh-huh.
but it didn't.
Can you imagine how different the Icon would be? How much heavier the Icon would be if the original and thinner, the original
Well,
one?
it would be thinner, and yeah, I might not necessarily be heavier. It might be heavier.
I don't think that the
Depends on the
Icon would be
day, but it
nearly
wouldn't be
as
cool.
acoustically neat.
No,
either.
no. You know, there's that whole, you know, an SG is really thin at 1.5,
Mhm.
1.25, whatever it is. A Mustang is a little thicker. You know, 1 3/4 is kind of the standard electric guitar, flat top electric guitar thickness. Les Pauls are solid body in there, 2.5, something like that. But they still look thin on the side because it's 1 1/4 or
Yeah.
1 3/4 on the side, so they don't look as thick as they
I
are.
think the Les
People
Paul's
say that all
almost
the time.
2 inches on the side because the mahogany's 1 3/4.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So,
But anyway, as soon as you get a guitar that's 2 inches thick,
mhm.
you know, on the side's a full 2 inches,
Mhm.
then it looks like, oh, okay, that's
It looks substantial
that's
and cool.
more acoustic, yeah. Even though an acoustic guitar is what, 4.5?
Sometimes, yeah, it's usually in a wedge shape if you look at the
17?
profile.
Yeah,
But you know who came the closest though? Some of those guitars that I think get overlooked for being as neat as they were, because they weren't made by Gibson back in the 50s. They came very, very close to what the way that we build the Icons now.
Mhm.
They had bent sides. The real problem is they kind of cheaped out at the end. They had bent sides and they had some reinforcement and they had a top and a back, and there's just a big block of poplar where the bridge went. And I'm like, well, like imagine what they could have done if they did something slightly more than just a big block of poplar where the bridge went.
Yeah.
You know,
Uh-huh.
I think that guitar would have been way more popular.
Yeah. I think what happens, especially in a factory thing, is you have certain things that you're comfortable doing, and you can only change so many things without increasing the cost of that product a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, is there a better way to make it? Yeah, probably. Were they still really good at bending sides? Yeah. So, you know, why not continue doing that and then throw a big chunk of poplar on the front end and glue a block in the middle of it and call it good. So,
Blank Nobody, I think wants a job. Blank Nobody, are you looking for work? Send me an email, and we'll pay to have you relocate to Colorado. And yeah, stop talking about it. Just do it. Lefty says that it's been a long time since I blocked someone on his hat. Tazzy Tim says 30 to 70% for 20-cent Guitar Co. So I think so. The name of his guitar company is 20-cent Guitar Company, and I think he's answering Dylan's question about percentage. The 30% engineering and 70% I want to try something crazy, and it turns out cool.
Okay. Yeah. So then the question is, do you repeat it? Do you keep doing it? Or do you or does it change a little bit after that?
Well, that's a great one, because if it's neat one time, is it still neat the next time?
Mm-hmm. Well, and it depends on how many guitars you're making and all that kind of stuff too. So
yeah,
I think a lot of people would be shocked, and a lot of people have probably watched some of the videos that are out there. But major manufacturers, it doesn't take them very long to do some of these little tricky steps because they've figured it out.
They've been making those guitars for a while. They got it,
and so they
sorted out.
And they figure out how to do it. When you start shoving more guitars through the system, then they start getting a little sloppy. But a slack belt sander, pretty neat tool. Who'd have thunk?
Yeah, there's a lot of woodworking machines that aren't available at Home Depot that some people may not know about.
Yeah, and you watch the guys at Gibson run tops through the slack belt sander. Okay. Yeah, good thing there's only 50 more before lunch, because if it took any longer, I'd be here till way later than lunch.
Greg built a really neat guitar with us a couple weeks ago, and it was a semi hollow body cutaway guitar, and he was going for that kind of, what do you call it, the department store guitar, only good. I'm not disparaging anyone's department store guitar, because I know there are a lot of people who think those are cool, but
cool and good are two different things too, right?
I think that there are people who would kind of have liked to have seen, man, what if this was, built with an eye towards having it be nice and a competitive option to a Les Paul or a 335 or a Starcaster or Telecaster or something, you know what I mean? Or what, the one of the Rickenbacker things that I don't know about. But that's in many ways, that's what we're going to be building in August with the guys, is this really neat semi hollow body instrument that uses a lot of old school techniques to make something that is decidedly new and cool, and engineered from the ground up to be that. Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say so. Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to the board.
It's a really neat guitar.
So Mike Beckloff has the only one that we've done. Oh, Mike Beckloff has the only one that we've done with a cutaway, and Greg Baker has the only one anybody else has done with a cutaway until August, right?
Yeah. In a lot of ways, I kind of felt like Greg's it was a good thing that he did it, because kind of gave us a glimpse into what everybody else, is going to be able to do, and processes and all of that kind of thing. So I was glad that Greg built that guitar.
Nuclear Grizzly says, if hollow bodies are cooler, then why didn't Hendrix play one? Explain that. Well, sir, as a matter of fact, I'm sure you can find a picture of Hendrix playing a Harmony or K or Dan Electro semi hollow body guitar fairly easily. He's probably got his Army uniform on, and they're out there.
Yeah.
But what? Okay, so if Jimi Hendrix is the be all end all of everything good, why then? Gosh, why would anybody play anything but an upside down guitar, Stratocaster, or Flying V? Or what else did he play? There's probably an SG floating around there for a while.
I don't know. He played all sorts of stuff. I don't know. It just, I think for the sound that he wanted and the volumes that he wanted and all of that, solid body was the right move.
One of the neat things about Jimi Hendrix is we never had to see the Jimi Hendrix Variety Hour. We never had to see the Jimi Hendrix Vegas review. We never had to hear the Jimi Hendrix Diet Pepsi commercial.
Hey, this is Jimi Hendrix for 7-Eleven. Damn it.
I mean, I'm not suggesting that Jimi Hendrix wasn't a neat guy and wasn't a great guitar player.
We have a poster of him right over there.
We have a poster of him. You know how many guitars are in the poster of Jimi Hendrix on the wall there?
None.
It's just Jimi Hendrix on a motorbike. So with a bandana. But But Jimi Hendrix wasn't, isn't the world doesn't start and stop on Jimi Hendrix, right?
No, and I think in a lot of ways, I mean, Jimmy followed trends as much as anybody else, but then expanded on those trends musically. But I don't think equipment-wise, I don't think he necessarily did anything out of this world.
Equipment-wise, it was fairly pedestrian gear.
Yeah. So. Okay. And so he took the guitar that everybody else was playing and beat them all to death with their own guitar, basically, So
what notable players played something hollow or semi-hollow that they bucked the trends? There's one obvious answer.
What time period?
Well, let's say any time period.
Any time period? Well, I think Brian Setzer playing Gretsch hollow bodies bucked the trend for the early 80s.
Yeah.
The very, very early 80s.
You got to wonder, does Brian Setzer have anything that's not a big, fat Gretsch jazz box? I mean, sure he has something.
Something, yeah. Oh, he has some TV Jones guitars.
Oh,
He has
okay.
a TV Jones baritone.
Are they semi-hollow, though? I mean, I know they're not.
Semi-hollow.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they're not, 4-inch thick, 6120s. So, who else? I mean, there's a fair number of people that started doing that stuff in the 80s, 70s. I mean, you can always find,
You're really close.
60s.
You're getting
70s.
colder. You're getting warmer.
You want somebody that played. Boy, I can't.
I'm looking to see. Dylan got it. Of course, Ted Nugent played that great big Birdland through like 25 Fender twin reverbs all daisy chained together.
I think the reason he did that is because he wanted it to do all the things that nobody else wants those guitars to do.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just howl
Yep.
and scream back at him like an animal. Yeah. And there's always,
Chris at Highline Guitars says that he is making a hollow body right now, and he's digging it so much. He's definitely going to make more. Chris, I'd like to see that. That sounds cool, man. Let's see. Kevzilla says, is a 339 size easier or harder to build than a 335-ish size? The 339 is the 339 does it have a solid top and back, but the back and sides are all one piece and it's all CNC machined out and it's the car. I think the 339 is a different build technique than the 335. Not just smaller, I think, but it's a different build technique. I could be way off. Greasy Guitar says George Benson. Yep. Dave Grohl says with his ES guitar. BB King is another one. Sean says 1,000 guitars, 1,000 artists. Pick your point. Go ahead.
But I think you and I always default to like hard rocker kind of guys.
Yeah. We don't
because there's always
as many
jazz guys and country guys and stuff like that playing everything, and a lot of stuff never fell out of fashion either. But yeah, I mean, if you're into Chet Atkins, you're always playing something.
Yeah. Dylan has a good one, George Thorogood. He was around in the 70s. And of course, Brian Duncan is a big, humongous Alvin Lee fan. So of course, he chimed in with that one. That was Doug says Nugent said you don't avoid feedback, you succumb to it. Yeah. I think embracing some of that stuff is cool.
I think if you can tame it and control it even a little bit, that's pretty neat trick.
I don't know exactly what Ted Nugent's or George Thorogood or Alvin Lee's stage setup was, but I know it was a hollow body or semi-hollow body something into a big amp or a bunch of big amps all strung together.
Yeah.
And controlling that and making that go had to have been not just a challenge, but I mean, in a live setting, especially like imagine so Alvin Lee at Woodstock, like all I know from that movie, the documentary, and there's no extended cuts of what Alvin Lee was doing in between songs. For all I know, there wasn't any in between songs because the guitar is going, whether you want it to or not. It's if you've got that thing plugged into like a great big 100-watt or several 50-watt tube amps all going full blast, it's gonna be making some racket.
Well, just the air that's moving. I mean, I've gotten acoustic guitars with under the saddle bridges to do stuff like that. It's just air.
Yeah,
moving the guitar.
Yeah,
and you can do it with a big amp and a solid body guitar and the headstock up against the speaker cabinet. And just wait for the wind to move the guitar.
Yep.
So but I think when you're playing with the Philharmonic, They don't want that.
Yeah, somehow or another, they don't want any a bunch of pissed off sounding guitar in between.
Yeah, louder
orchestra.
than any other note you played the whole night.
Yeah. Yep.
Could be wrong.
From a rock and roll standpoint, though, Chris, as you know, I think that the P90 and especially a semi hollow with a single coil pickup in it is ideal for a rock and roll setup because it keeps the singer from jaw jacking in between songs. Oh yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff in the comment section. Is kooky. You guys are crazy in the comment section. It's like Mad Max over there. So anyway, Chris, what have we come up with here?
I don't think we've done anything.
Why do people play solid body guitars?
Because they're cool.
I think it's because they're cool and because you've been told that that's what you need.
Yeah.
By Jimi Hendrix and Eddie Van Halen. And
well, I mean, everybody wants to play rock and roll, right? Yeah, I think that's where you sort of default to.
Yeah.
And I mean, that kid in the Chuck Berry song, the Christmas song, all I want for Christmas is a rock and roll electric guitar. I mean, yeah, electric.
Yeah.
Solid body.
He also said that out of all the reindeer, you're the mastermind.
Well, yeah.
Which I still don't understand. I don't get that. Yeah.
And I don't think there's a reindeer named Randolph.
What he was up to.
Yeah. On Donner Blitzen, Randolph.
Yeah,
I don't think that was in there.
So, and
stepdad.
There were some pioneers in rock and roll who were, who played the hollow body guitars early on, and there were guys who bucked tradition much later after the solid body was a thing that everybody wanted, and they said, "No, I want this thing to sound like an electric guitar, and I want it to sound like a pissed off bee's nest." When when
even Les Paul was having trouble with feedback in 1949.
Jay wants to know, would a flamethrower in your hollow body jack with the tone? Jay, I don't understand.
A flamethrower.
Would a flamethrower in your hollow body jack with the tone?
I think it might.
I think it could be a good thing, Jay. Let's find out when you're here in August. How about that? Zed says he plays solid because it can be a challenge to make pointy acoustics. Yeah, it can be a challenge. And so I think for pointy guitars, yeah, go ahead. And
I think solid body lends itself to creativity. Body shape doesn't really matter. Some people think it does. But yeah, you can make them pointy, and yeah, people freak out when you do stuff like that with acoustic.
Remember the BC Rich Warlock acoustic that we saw that one time?
That looked really, really dumb.
Gary Redburn says it's the only thing you taught me to build. So remember that we built that semi hollow with a flamethrower in it for Gary. Yep.
We did?
No, we didn't.
I remember that. I must have been sick that day.
Let's see. Curtis says solid bodies because they don't take over all of the room in your house, and they generally don't turn into electric geese with high volumes. I kind of like the electric geese though. 3J Music says everyone talks about Slash and his knockoff Les Paul and Appetite, but Izzy played a Gibson ES 175 for the recording on that album, or maybe it was a knockoff too. Yeah, I don't know what Izzy Stradlin played in that. Who knows what he played for the actual recordings? Once they got big and there was videos, he had a 175. So, but who knows what?
And I don't know enough about a 175 to know.
Yeah, maybe he had one. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and you can do things to them to stop them from doing some of that stuff. So, spray foam.
So that's what Billy Duffy said that he put in his White Falcon, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, I read it one time. Yeah, I could be wrong. So, anyway, all right, gang. Well, we are going to get out of here because I'm going to go meet Joy at the Odyssey Beer Works tent at the Arvada Center and help sling beers for the good people at Odyssey Beer Works. They're having a deal right now.
I saw on the Facebook.
It's
funny because it's today, and today was the first day I saw it.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't think it was because you mentioned it.
Yeah. So the deal is that beers are normally $5, but if you're good looking, they're less. You guys will have to pay $5. So anyway, all right, hold on. Let's see what Lefty says. Reveals. No, there are no guitars to reveal, Lefty. I'm sorry, but we will not be doing a video tomorrow.
Lots of guitars getting done. None tomorrow.
I'm starting the advanced work for the August workshops right now, and so that's going to be taking up a bunch of my time. You might have some reveals in a couple weeks.
Next week, yeah.
Maybe next week. Okay. All right.
If we can get people to leave them here long enough.
All right. Eric says they made him pay 10. Oh, boo. Brad, we'll do a parts reveal for your stuff here coming up, man. It won't be tomorrow because I've got a bunch of stuff happening tomorrow. I probably won't be here until 5. So guys, have a great one. I want you to go over and check out Dylan Talks Tone. You got a few more minutes than you normally do to get yourself a cool beverage,
get a snack,
get a treat,
use the restroom.
Yeah, whatever you need to do.
Take a wander around the neighborhood.
Do whatever you want. Take the dog for a walk.
Yeah, whatever.
Dylan's going to be taking it home tonight. I don't know how long he's going to be going tonight, but check him out. We will see you guys Sunday. Have a great night, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.